You know that feeling when you're listening to someone speak English, but it feels kind of like a secret code, full of these weird expressions and hidden meanings? Well, you're not wrong. In a lot of ways, it is a code. So today, we're going to dive right into the middle of it and try to crack some everyday Britishisms.
Okay, so imagine you overhear this on a street corner somewhere in the UK. A right palava. What in the world does that even mean? This little phrase, this is the mystery we're going to solve. It's a fair question, right? At first glance, it might as well be nonsense. But trust me, it's absolutely jam-packed with cultural clues. So, let's figure this out.
Because this is the whole point. Really understanding a language, it's never just about memorizing vocabulary. It's about decoding the culture, the context, and all the subtle feelings that are hidden in just everyday, normal conversations. So let's start right on the ground level, in a typical British neighborhood, just listening in on some chatter. This is where you find some of the richest and, yeah, sometimes the most confusing parts of the code. And here it is, our mystery phrase, right in its natural habitat. So the situation is a classic neighborhood dispute, a very, very yellow garage door. But the real story here is in how the speaker is talking about it. This is the key question. What does the speaker really think about Kara's complaint? Are they on her side? Or do they think she's totally overreacting? The clues are hiding in plain sight, inside two little freezes. Okay, first clue, kicking up a fuss. Now, this isn't just a neutral way to say complaining. Oh no. There's a very subtle, very British judgment that is baked right into this phrase. You say this when you want to imply the complaint is just a bit much, a little unnecessary. It's criticism, but it's indirect. And then you get the knockout punch, palaver. This word basically just means a whole lot of unnecessary trouble over something that really doesn't matter. So by putting kicking up a fuss and a right palaver together, the speaker is practically shouting their opinion without ever saying it directly. They're telling you, I think this whole thing is completely ridiculous. Let's look at another one. This time, it's not a fight, it's about community spirit. You've got an alleyway that's chock-a-block or completely full of trash, but then everyone comes together. And the key bit of code here is mucked in. I love this phrase. Mucked in just has this wonderfully positive, get-it-done feeling. It's not just about working. It's about everyone, together, getting their hands dirty to achieve something. It paints this amazing picture of community in just two simple words. All right, let's switch gears. We're leaving the neighborhood and heading into a totally different jungle, the office. Here, the code gets even thicker, full of jargon and acronyms. It can honestly feel like a whole different language. Oh, we've all been there, right? You say something in a meeting and suddenly, crickets, just total silence. You know you've messed up, but what's the code for that very specific, awkward feeling? Treading on someone's toes. I mean, it's such a perfect metaphor, isn't it? You didn't mean any harm, but you accidentally stepped into someone else's territory and, well, you caused a problem. It just captures that specific type of workplace screw-up so perfectly. And then you have the alphabet soup of office life. KPIs, ASAP, EOD. This is a whole other layer of the code. It's a shorthand that immediately signals whether you're an insider or an outsider. If you don't know what these mean, you're going to feel lost pretty quick. And sometimes the code is incredibly subtle. It can come down to just one tiny sound. Think about it. Weary, wary, and wiry. They sound almost the same. But if you mix them up, the meaning just completely flips. Being weary of a new plan is very different from being wary of it. Okay, now for the really high-stakes stuff, social situations. If you get the code wrong here, you don't just sound a little confused. You risk some serious embarrassment. This is where the social blunder, the classic faux pas, lives.
This story is a classic. Picture this. A colleague invites you over for tea at 5 o'clock. You're thinking, great, a cup of tea, maybe a biscuit. You show up and there's a table set for a full dinner. What on earth just happened?
And here is the secret. In a lot of places in Britain, tea is the main evening meal. It's not just a word for a drink. It's this massive regional and cultural signal that can cause some major confusion if you haven't cracked that specific part of the code. So, as we've seen, from the neighborhood to the office to the dinner table, there is a much bigger lesson here, isn't there? The code isn't just about the words you're using. And this final story is just painfully relatable. A guest at a party absolutely loves the food, so much so that they eat the entire thing. They understood every single word that was said, so why was it still a huge mistake? So, to polish something off means to finish all of it. Simple enough. The guest understood that part. What they didn't understand was the unspoken social rule behind it. You just don't take the last piece of a shared dish unless somebody specifically offers it to you.
And that's really the heart of it all. True fluency, really getting it, isn't about knowing all the words in the dictionary. It's about understanding the entire web of culture, the social rules, and the shared context that all those words exist inside. It's about knowing when not to polish off the tart.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Every single language, every dialect, has these hidden layers. So, what about your language? What are the inside jokes, the unspoken rules, the little bits of secret code that a foreigner would never, ever find in a textbook?